When we're talking about scales, basically what a scale is, it's nothing more than a glorified number line. But when you see a scale, whether it be like, I have a couple pictures here. I've got the bathroom scale. I've got a thermometer scale. A scale that you use all the time is a ruler, even though we don't call it. Actually, when you get into drafting class, if you ever get that far, they do call it a drafting scale because it's there. The first thing you have to do is, ladies and gentlemen, you need to figure out what each mark stands for, or how big is each mark. How big is each mark? Sometimes marks stand for 2, sometimes they stand for 4, sometimes they stand for 1. Let's take a look at this little thermometer here I have. Sometimes we call it a thermometer. And I know it's not real crystal clear. And in this case, how do you know what each mark stands for? Well, we can blow it up, I guess. Not like literally, but figuratively. Now, fortunately for you on this scale, a good way to do is take a look between, here's 0 and here's 10. How many marks are there between 0 and 10? If you can see that. It looks pretty blurry there. But it's always important to remember not to count the little tick marks. Okay, if I counted tick marks, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's not right. You always want to count spaces. Okay, how many spaces is there? This is 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each space is worth 1 degree. And that's nice because we like to use the 1 degree thing. So if you're looking at this measurement here, I think this side would be Fahrenheit, right? That's what we usually talk about. The other side over there is Celsius. If you're looking at the temperature of this in Fahrenheit, it is, here's 80. It goes up, looks like to right here. So that is how many degrees? Just 81 degrees. Everybody's happy. In Celsius, it's actually 30, 31, 32, 33 degrees Celsius. That's pretty warm. Pretty warm. Now, let's look at, that's kind of an easy one. Now, let's go back and look at this scale we have over here. Where's that thing? Now, take a look at this. Here's the only thing we have to go off here. You know this is 0 and this is 20. So, how much is each one going to be worth and how do you know, Caleb?
Each one's 75.
Why? Because?
You can count, there's 4 or 3 in between.
Well, there's 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Or you could think of this, halfway between 0 and 20, this mark has to be 10, and there's only 2 marks between that. So every mark is 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. So if you did the little scale and it ended up pointing to right here, which I can't spin the dial or I would, how many pounds would that be? Knowing this is 20 and each one is worth 5, 20, 25, 30, 35 pounds. And unfortunately, if you weigh more than, if you stepped on it and went all the way back to, well, let's go to this one. If you stepped on it and went all the way to here, how many pounds is that? 295. So if you're more than 300 pounds, you're going to have trouble on this one. And some football players are. Actually, a lot of them are more than that.
They need to protect the quarterback.
Because they do protect the quarterback. Now, how about this thing? I'm not sure what this is. It's a little smaller. Oh, a scale that measures things in grams. So a gram is not very much. How much is each of those hash marks worth? Knowing that this is 200, this is 300. How many spaces are there between? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 100 between this. If you cut 100 into 5 equal pieces, then, Jackson, each one of these marks is, no, 50 would be 50, 100 you'd be 200 or 300 right there. Well,
10?
Well, if it did be 10, this is 210, 220, 230, 240, that only gets you to 250. Eliza?
20.
Let's see. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So what is this pointing at? So we're close to 200 and, no, 220, 240. I think it's supposed to be pointing right at that thing. That would be 240 grams. So always, always, always make sure you know the scale or the units of measurement that you're measuring. What else did they ask us there? Oh, we do need to write this out about temperature, just so we know. Write yourself out a little thermometer. You can draw your own little thing here. We don't even use these type of thermometers, but everybody always seems to like them, so that's what we put down. Again, I will tell you a bazillion times that our little United States way of doing things is so wrong, but that's okay. I'm not anti-US, but I'm anti-our stubbornness. If you think about, remember we talked about Fahrenheit and Celsius. We use this Fahrenheit side. And what are our benchmarks? What marks do we use? Well, we use the freezing point of water as one of them. What degrees does water freeze in our little society here? James?
0 degrees.
No, not in Fahrenheit.
Wait.
We are in Fahrenheit here. What degrees does water start to freeze? David? Yeah, 32 degrees. And then we go all the way up here to when water starts to boil. Again, not a very easy thing, but water boils at, Katerina, what temperature does water boil at?
Either 210 or 220.
Now you're close, 212 degrees. Okay. Now that's not very logical, but the people that made up the Celsius or the centigrade scale, they said, well, why not do this? Why not make water freeze at 0 degrees and boil at 100 degrees and make nice round numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. So, if the temperature goes up 1 degree in Celsius, how does that compare to going up 1 degree Fahrenheit? Does it get warmer? If you get 1 degree warmer in Celsius, is that more than getting 1 degree warmer in Fahrenheit? Yes or no? Yes, because there's a whole bunch more marks. There's like 180 marks between freezing and boiling in Fahrenheit, but there's only 100 marks there. And if you start going below 0, you can get, I don't know, what is 0 degrees, how many degrees below 0 is 0 degrees Fahrenheit? Does it say? We need a thermometer here. Maybe I don't have one. Wait, I had one on the last page. Did I go to 0? This little thing here. Didn't we have a thermometer over here somewhere? There it is. 0 degrees, which one is my Fahrenheit? Here's my Fahrenheit. 0 degrees is 32 degrees, we know that. 0 degrees Fahrenheit is how many degrees Celsius? Here's negative 10, here's negative 15, 16, 17, 18. Negative 18 degrees. So if you say it's negative 18 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, that's really not that cold. It's just 0 degrees. Where'd my stuff go? Anybody know where it went? Oh, there it is. Look. We'll get back to it.
It's so small.
So this is negative 18 degrees. So if you said it's negative 18 degrees Celsius, you might think it's, or 18 degrees below 0 Celsius, you might think it's cold. But really, it's only 0 degrees. Or we said what? 81 degrees was how many degrees Celsius? We just did it. What was it? Do you remember the first thing we did on that thing? 30, wasn't it 33, wasn't it? Do I have to go back? Were you not listening? Remember we went back and looked at this. How quickly we forget. Where was it? It was right here. 81 degrees was 33 degrees. So you have to be very careful. Oh, now where'd my thermometer go? Is it like minuscule?
Is it
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
We'll get it when you're ready.
Oh.
So make sure when you do scales, you're looking at whatever thing is. All right, very good.